This is for you, Ron, and you can use this one. It's on me. Roses are red, violets are bluish. If it wasn't for Abraham, we'd all be Hinduish. I read somewhere, I read a paragraph recently that it was a paragraph that came out of a book on the Argentine revival that really impacted me. And I haven't forgotten the words. And the words were, the vitality of a church has everything to do with its commitment to the Great Commission. But your commitment to the Great Commission has everything to do with a touch of God. I am so committed to the Great Commission. I'm on fire for souls. I'm hungry for souls. But there's a reason. Because I got touched by God. I met the Lord. I met the Lord one-on-one. I met him June 10th, 2010 on this campground. He changed my life. He changed it so incredibly that things are going on in my life in ways and I never expected. When I decided to walk away from my former life, and there was a lot of sin. I was a crack addict for 2 years. The Lord really did redeem me. I mean, I was on death row when I came up here. I don't want to downplay the miracle. I was saved from death. I shouldn't be standing here. But I had told myself that I couldn't live the way I wanted to anymore. I wanted to change. I had a heart to change, and I called on the God to help me. And he presented the ministry. The Lord saved me through the ministry, through the men and women that are here. Some people work directly with me more than others, but I had to recognize Jesus in everyone here in order to get saved by the Lord. I told myself, fine, I won't do crack anymore. I won't drink. Life's going to be boring, but I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. So I honestly committed myself to staying saved the rest of my life. And I told myself the way it would look is I would be sitting on a rocking chair doing crossword puzzles. And I said, that's fine. I planned on living that way the rest of my life. And honestly, I thought that's how you all lived. I had no idea the way you guys live, but I can tell you something. This is phenomenal. I wish that I had known about it sooner. And right, it was the Lord's timing. But man, I got touched on this campground. I came here a crack addict. I had no therapists. There was no medications. Instantaneous healing from crack. No withdrawals, no cravings, what have you. When you have experience, when you get touched by God, yeah, we have some ups and downs, but when you get touched, man, there's no turning back. There's no alternative. And I can even tell you now that there's a lot of times that I don't feel like going to church. Sometimes I don't like church. But I can tell you there's no place that I'd rather be. Because that's what keeps me saved. I thank the ministry dearly that, that they answered the call in our life, that so many people in this room answered the call in our life and provided a place for the Lord to work through me in my life. One of the key people that really spoke into my life, and I watched that man like a hawk because I was going to catch him tripping up if I could, and I couldn't. And it was Reed Grassick. Because it's really true, when we bring them in, they're watching us because they want a chance to call us a hypocrite, So we got to be really guarded. That man did everything he could to make sure that I kept walking forward, He really guarded his walk in order to make sure that I would be saved. So Dr. Russ has always said, and you know what? It's very hard to disagree with you. That the greatest miracle is a transformed life. And, the greatest miracle happened on the campground, and I've seen transformed lives here again. But there were some other great miracles that happened to me, too. I received a physical healing. I had poked my eye out when I was lighting the fire, and Victoria tried to spit on the ground and rub some mud in my eye. And by the way, I read somewhere that the reason why Jesus did that is because when he created us in the first place, he had used the earth. So Jesus just used the original material to make the eye. Victoria, you're not Jesus. But you have Jesus in you because she laid her hands on me and I got healed. I received a complete healing in my eye. And the other thing is, too, is I'm in the world right now. When I say that, what I mean is that I'm a Christian living in the world. I'm no longer sheltered by the campground. And I really have learned to appreciate the comfort that I had here. It was like an incubator for me in order to become strong in myself to walk in the real world. And it can be a struggle out there. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, actually, that's where I was going with that. So now, yeah, thank you, Herschel. It's important to have a brother close to you. Keep him close. I get tired. I have an important job, and I get up early in the morning, and I get tired. Some days I don't have the koya. But when I was on this campground, I started my day at 6 in the morning. I worked till 4. I came into the meeting. I ran the chip wagon. I sat around with Linda Cove and Robert and talked with Linda for 3 hours. Robert just sat there. And I would get maybe like 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep. Honestly, there were some days that I could feel a little more tired than others, but never the way I feel now that I'm living in the real world. There was a supernatural energy here. There is transforming power on this campground. There is healing power on this campground. There is supernatural energy on this campground, and if you press into it, you can receive it. Thank you.